Welcome back. Welcome back. I am I'm late. I gave myself a brief window of time to put together a whopping bunch of episodes, but here's the problem. Life happens. A couple fun updates for you. One, your boy gets to be a poppy, a little poppy. Got a little Nino on the way. I I say Nino, it might be a Nina. I don't really speak Spanish, but that means I have a baby. Man, the Lord is good and the Lord has made us prosperous. And I'm super excited for that because I have been stoked to be a dad for so long. And I think it's one of the most meaningful things you can do. And I also think it's one of the most terrifying things you could do. But nevertheless, I'm very happy to be doing it. My beautiful wife is pregnant. We got the okay from the doc to say we're having a kid. That's incredible. I couldn't ask for anything better. So that's been really cool. And I've been spending a lot of time, I want to say, following passion projects, but it's really been trying to make some money, dude. It's terrifying having another mouth. I mean, I think as a man, one of the ultimate goals is to have your wife not have to go back to work. Let her stay at home. Let her clean the kitchen. Dishes won't wash themselves. And to be a two-income household, it's kind of difficult. My wife has been killing it. She's been working for Red Bull for a long time, and she is just I'm so proud of her. But if there's one thing I want to be able to afford to her, it's for her to stay home in lingerie and Uber Eats stuff, especially if we have a little kiddo on the way. So I started a company. I got my buddies together and we're doing credit card processing. And the reason why I went with that is because you can really set it up well to where you have money coming to you every month. You can save people money so they want to stay with you and stick with you. It's low barrier to entry in terms of cost, and the maintenance on it is almost always going to the actual backbone and infrastructure and not you. And what I mean by that is like you sign people up for credit card processing and then you maintain that relationship. You basically broker the deal. And then there's a support line that they call with who you broker the deal with. So that's awesome. One, you sign people up. Two, you get residual money. Three, like if there are any headaches, it doesn't necessarily come to you. I've been learning a lot about that. So I started a company, Capital Heights Funding. We do factoring too. Shout out Capital Heights. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. And by sponsoring this episode, I mean, I did it. Your boy, Big G. All right. MC Cray. Holla at me. Look here, Jarvis. That's not going to zoom in for me. That's crazy. I did it. So terrified. Got an email for it. If you or anyone you know needs credit card processing, wants a better deal on credit card processing, needs some extra cash flow, and wants an invoice paid early, I could factor it. But this isn't here to be a pitch for anything. This is me to talk to all the homies. So for homies, I want to let you know what I've been doing whenever I can't sleep. I've been going on YouTube and watching guys get stung by wasps. I should be doing better things with my time. But this guy named Coyote Peterson, I don't know if you ever heard about him. If you haven't, you should look him up. Coyote Peterson is what I would call the redneck version of the crocodile hunter, right? He's our Steve Irwin for this generation. And in the 2015s, this guy got famous by going around and saying, I'm going to find the most painful bugs in all of America or Australia or wherever the heck, and I'm going to let them sting me on my forearm. And this is ridiculous because one, putting yourself through that kind of pain doesn't make a lot of sense. I wouldn't do it, but it's so fun to watch this dude just be like, I'm about to enter the sting zone with the Manfucker 9000 wasp. Wild. He goes, gets the bug, puts it on his forearm, grovels in pain for hours, edits it out. You see his arms swell up. It's crazy. He's gotten to the point now where his most recent stuff, he's gone through all the wasps. He's gone through all the scorpions and shit. Now he's on, hey, there's a poisonous plant that will fuck you up 7 ways to Sunday that basically has like hypodermic fiberglass needles that break off in your skin. I'm going to go to Australia, find this plant, and roll around in it. Then he does, and he's like, oh, this is what's called the suicide plant. I'm going to do this, and you can all watch. And then he's just miserable. He's absolutely miserable. It's probably the wildest character arc I've ever seen is somebody that's just gotten famous off of his deranged form of masochism. And it's the most badass thing of all time. I love Coyote Peterson. This content's huge. Go check out Brave Wilderness on YouTube. Honestly, you should probably stop this because this is just me jabbering. And you could go down a deep rabbit hole and get lost on YouTube for a long period of time. Another fun thing I've been watching, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Greek mythology. I believe it was in the island of Crete, which I'm probably saying 30 different ways wrong. I'm from Texas. I'm not Greek, but you know the labyrinth, right? Labyrinth, big ass maze put underground to contain the Minotaur, which that is probably one of the most gruesome stories. Just gross, actually. I don't think gruesome is the way to put it, but gross. Poseidon gives a king a beautiful calf, says, I'm going to support your kingdom. You just have to sacrifice this beautiful bull back to me. And the king's like, damn, this bull looks real good. I'm not going to kill it. I'm going to get a fugler. I'm going to a little fugly calf bull. I'm going to sacrifice that one instead because this pretty bull is just too much to get rid of. And the gods got mad at him and then cast a spell on King Homie's wife. And King Homie's wife was like, damn, that bull looks good. I want me some. And she went and sleeps with the bull. 9 months later, pops out a little half bull, half man child, and it's a minotaur. And what's really cool about this minotaur is it likes to eat people. Pretty fucking gross. They're like, nah, I can't have that in the kingdom. We're gonna throw it in a big cave that we built down below the town. And it's just never going to be able to find its way out because it's going to be really dark and it's going to be like a maze and shit like that. And then I believe it's Theseus comes down later, like chops his head off or something like that. It's a long story. Bottom line is Greek mythology is wild and the freaking labyrinth is real. It's not only real, get this, World War II, the Nazis went in it. So you have this crazy underground maze in an island over there in Europe or wherever the fuck Crete is, and the Nazis are hanging out in the labyrinth? Bro, I didn't even think it was. I thought this was another like BS thing. I didn't realize there's an actual maze under a mountain that used to be open to the public. And the Nazis stormed it and were using it as a place to hide their military surplus material. So it's been closed off because whenever the Nazis were being pushed out of occupying the area, they're like, hey, we can't get all these missiles and materials and stuff out of the mountain. So we might as well just booby trap it with landmines and grenades all throughout the labyrinth. And on top of that, whenever we are exiting, we're just going to hit the side of the mountain with an absolute metric fuck ton of explosives and collapse it. What? So the labyrinth is not only real and terrifying because of the lore, the Nazis occupied it. That's pretty fucking crazy. Then they put booby traps and landmines and grenades and stuff in there to hide their missiles, which are corroding over time. It's chemical bombs down there that are just going to explode on a whim. And we're just going to fucking nuke the side of the mountain and collapse the tunnels. Now, that's like what, circa 1945 or something like that? I don't know. When did the Nazis happen? Anyways, people started re-exploring this cave about like, I guess 20 years ago. And get this, people started dying because of the fucking landmines. That's ridiculous. So people are still dying from these booby traps. Now there's this absolute manimal, absolute unit of a guy that is like, you know what? I think there's another entrance. Let me start talking to locals. So he's put a service call out there. He's like, hey, if you know any way to get in, let me know. And then one local lady reaches out to him like, hey, I have a hole by a tree that we think goes into the labyrinth. He's like, fuck it, we ball. He goes out to Crete, uses his drone, finds the hole, climbs down into the labyrinth, and then starts following the trails of all these people that have gone down there. As he's going, he's seen all these bits and pieces of the labyrinth have actually collapsed, but it's wild old masonry work in like caves, and he's going through this maze. You can look this up. I don't know the input you need on YouTube, but if you look up like labyrinth, good luck spelling it. If you have a Texas education like I do, use autocorrect. But he's down there and you're seeing what it's like peering into folklore. It's the physical manifestation of shit you don't think is real that's also terrifying. Side note, one of the coolest parts of it is that Theseus or whatever is Thad Castle, whatever, he went down there. He's the demigod or whatever the fuck protagonist from the Greek mythology. He, in order to not get lost, he brought yarn with him and he had it tied at the entrance. And as he would go through these paths, the yarn would traverse behind him and he'd basically drag it along. And that was his means of finding the exit after he killed the Minotaur. In beautiful homage fashion, you go down into the labyrinth and you start seeing all these trails of yarn. But then what's eerie is you start seeing where yarn ends. And then you start seeing where the ceiling has collapsed. Then you start seeing swastikas and shit like that. And it's like, whoa, bro, not cool. Let you marinate on that for a second. Kind of creepy. So this guy goes and I don't know if you've seen caving videos. Caving is absolutely terrifying. A good friend of mine named Chad Surrey put me onto it about like 2 years ago. He's like, hey, look at this stuff you should never do. And so I did. And it's these men that for some reason, their form of exhilaration and fun is getting themselves into extremely tight crevices, no pun intended. And it's just wedging themselves between big mountain of rock. It's a 6-inch hole. I can fit my whole body through it. And if I can't, I'm stuck here and I die forever. And then the water will rise up and I drown. It is a weird hobby to have. And these guys are doing it. The gentleman that explored the labyrinth that I just saw the video on, he's putting himself in these exact same situations. There's nowhere to crawl through except for like, I don't know, an 18-inch gap in the middle of nowhere. And it's like no one even knows how to get into the labyrinth, bro. And you're crawling through here in a place where you're going to wedge yourself and get stuck. You know how many videos there are of just some 18-year-old narrating in this crazy voice where this one caver thought he was in for a good time. Instead, he found only despair. You can find 1,000 of those videos where the people get stuck and die. And you can't get these people out. So you'll just go caving and you see a dead corpse. It's the same situation as like Mount Everest, because how the fuck are you going to get anybody out of there? So he's going and going. He's climbing through all this stuff. He finds this one room in the labyrinth. Mind you, this is still a maze. It's just a maze that's been collapsed on itself because eons have gone by. Lord knows when this was created. And he starts seeing where people had tagged the walls in this maze. And he starts realizing this isn't regular graffiti because the most recent one was like 1945. No one had been in that area and tagged where he was at for years. And there was one that was like, I believe it was like 14 something, 15 something. Like in the 1500s, these people are writing on the wall. But it becomes even more eerie when you start thinking about the fact that no one has been down there in 40 years. So if you do fuck around and step on a landmine and you become kaput, who's going to find you? Somebody in the year 2300? I mean, there's such a gap between the tags that it's like, bro, no one's down here. YouTube's fucking crazy, man. I didn't even know the labyrinth was real. I've gotten into a lot of other things on YouTube. I've been spending a lot of time watching the Burnt Peanut, not necessarily live because I don't drink that much, but his shorts are hilarious. That's been a good time. I've been catching up on Invincible and The Boys. You know, I've been hitting up the homies. They coerced me into trying League of Legends. That's been a good time too. Just some real nerd stuff, bro. I've really hit my arc. But I think the thing that I spend the most time doing that I just enjoy, like my favorite hobby lately, has just been ripping like 7 beers and taking a nap. Just taking a nap. And my day job, it's a really good time. And I really do appreciate the people that are there with me because they're just good people. It's honest people. But dude, work will get at you. It'll get at you. And then you come home, the Dos Equis is singing to you, as you can see, little ultras and stuff. Those are props. I didn't actually drink them just now. And I'm trying to get my energy back up. And now that I'm gonna be a dad, I'm like really hyper focusing on, hey, what can I do to be better? And I think the biggest thing is to probably not have my favorite pastime being little buzz naps, dude. Little buzz naps are awesome, but they're not meant to be done like every Saturday and every Sunday. They don't happen during the weekday, but damn, they sing to me. They're like, hey, rip like 4 beers, crash out. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. I wish I got as excited thinking about working out. I used to be a little stud and a half, which, confession time, high school did SARMs. I think SARMs stand for specific. It's fuck. I don't know what they stand for. Basically, like I did pro hormones, bro. It was so nice to bench 315. It was the absolute best. I mean, I'm 27 now, and it's a weird feeling to know that 19-year-old me could just whip my ass. And what's sad is I still think in my head sometimes, especially after those 3 beers have sang to me, that I'm that guy still. And then I'm like going downstairs and my knee hurts. And if at this rate, if I don't change something soon, then by the time I'm 35, I'm just flatline cooked, which is not a good place to be. It's also a weird thing just developing as a person whenever you are becoming it like early 30s. I mean, I'm grateful my eyesight's still good, but I could see that that's changing, and it's kind of making me think like, hey, maybe there's some other stuff slipping here too that I'm not really paying attention to. I got that 30-year-old hairline coming. You know what I'm talking about? That little that little U dip at the very top. I have this weird mustache that like I've never been able to grow a mustache, as you can see if you're checking it out, but like it really looks super pencil thin and it's not thick yet. So I want to keep it, but I know it's in vain. Yeah, that's the real deal. I guess as my faith has gotten stronger though, I used to like think of health as like, man, I need to do this so I don't die, which is probably a gruesome thing to just kind of put out there. But I think everybody's thought about it. Dude, like death sucks. What, dying? That's gay. I don't want to do that. But now I'm starting to think of health as like, man, like I want to enjoy the time that I have here to the fullest of my ability. And it's really difficult to do that if you're not taking care of your body. It's becoming more and more of a calling to take care of myself because it's the right thing to do, as opposed to take care of myself due to the negative consequence. Which when I think about like parenting, positive affirmations are so much more effective. And it's crazy to think back to myself and be like, man, even whenever I speak to myself, typically whenever I have those internal conversations and dialogues about what I should or shouldn't do, very seldom am I ever being encouraging to myself. That's a hard thing to come to terms with. I mean, you're your own worst critic, and I need to quit that. And I quit that to set a precedent for my posterity, and end up being encouragement to my children. I mean, I would never negatively enforce anyone I care about. Well, shouldn't you care about yourself? That's a pretty powerful conversation. So I got to work on that. And I want to work on it. I don't really know what else is new here. Just because it's going to be way out there and I probably won't be able to get to it with all the things taking precedent. I did want to start doing sketch comedy. I love comedy. I think comedy's great. It's fun to laugh. Problem is bills have to be paid. And, you know, I'd rather be the guy that is moderately funny and pays his bills than the guy that is hilarious, but also broke his shit and without a house. I mean, if you had to choose one or the other, I mean, be the moderately funny guy with a crib 10 out of 10 times because, you know, they're not, it's not fun to be a funny homeless guy. But since I wanted to do sketch comedy and stuff, here's a bit I had that I thought was just great. And feel free to take this and do with it as you please. But scene opens, Halloween party. Bunch of people around drinking out of red Solo cups, having a great time. Everyone's in costume. It's a bunch of superheroes. You got like Wonder Woman, you got Superman, you got everybody. hear a knock at the door, and the host gets up from his time, speak with everybody, waddles over to the door, opens it. Dude painted head to toe in blue paint, butt naked. He's Dr. Manhattan. Host freaks out. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You're naked. He's like, I'm Dr. Manhattan. You told me it's a superhero Halloween party. I'm my favorite superhero. That's like the end of the bit. Anyways, do with that what you will. I'm not really great at directing or explaining my thoughts, but I thought that was funny. Another one that is really good. You get cut off in traffic and then you don't react. I guess some of these really would only make sense if you're, some of these would only make sense if you saw it. Trust me, it's funny. You'd like it. Anyways, yeah. So that's a grand overview of kind of what's going on. I listened to Kanye's new album. That was a joy to listen to. Also, Ella Langley's album. I guess not even album. I haven't listened to her album in full, but I've listened to a lot of her songs. Well, Ella Langley songs. Awesome. Really good. It's crazy to be just being an Ella Langley fan. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing her name right. One thing I wish I had, this is one thing that's pretty critical. I am a nicotine fiend. You don't believe me? We're at my desk right now. Half open can of Alp, empty can of Alp, some Swedish Killa nicotine pouches. These are decent. Another can of Alps, another can. I got 3 more cans right here. I just keep them on deck. I've been buying roll after roll. But if we look at this, this is 8 cans of pouches. I need to start doing reviews on these things, dude. Honestly. And I need to hit up Tucker and be like, hey, Big Tuck, look, dude, you quit being selfish. Hit me with a referral code. I got so many people on these, and I'm really stoked because they're coming up with a blueberry lemonade ice flavor. And not to be sus or anything, but I prefer the fruity. So this tropical fruit one's gas. This killer one I have right here is pineapple flavor. This is made in Denmark. Those Denmarkians sure know how to make a fucking pouch. Because I put those Alps in, it's nothing. I put in these Denmark pouches, I feel like Iron Man. My chest gets tight, I start having palpitations. It's like I feel it glowing. Dude, it's the best shit in the world. Getting fired up just talking about it. Hey, but public service announcement. Here's the fine print. Do not take a pouch and then chug coffee, because I swear to God, you will shit a hole through the porcelain. I mean, it becomes lethal, dude. It's like a t-shirt cannon. I would not wish that upon my worst enemy, dog. At one time, I ripped like 3 of these 9 pouches of Alps, and then drank some Bustelo and a French press, and I was damn near ahead of India's space program. Elon, feel free to use that as a propulsion engine next time. I know you're all about efficiency. Pure methane, and you're launched. But yeah, that's the skinny gentleman. That's the halftime report. I don't know when I'll get a chance to do this again, but dang, it felt good to jabber to you. This has been a really good time. Hopefully next time we'll get some participants in here. If you want to be on the early stages of the pod, holler at your boy, because I've been having a blast just talking to y'all for the last 30 minutes or so. But I think short and sweet's the way to go. Well, 30 minutes here. So you on the way to Whataburger, you can turn it off and watch that Labyrinth video in the parking lot once you get parked. Get you a triple meat with lettuce, pickles, and ketchup. Add cheese and bacon, grilled jalapenos. You'll thank me later. If you don't like it, you can write all your complaints on the back of a $20 bill and ship it to me. But yeah, it's Saturday for me. I know we talked about being healthy, but I got another tall boy of Dos Equis Chiladas, lime and salt. It's just calling my name from the refrigerator downstairs, and we're going to get rolling from there. I'm going to put on some Post Malone, slam a little brew, maybe hop on some Counter-Strike with the boys, and if all things go well, rip a few cases, change a few lives. It'll be dope. Thanks for listening. I love you. God loves you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.